Let's make some noise. Come on.
Yes, indeedy. Thank you, Nick Foles. Thank you. You've arrived at the last leg of the MattyB trifecta here on Sunday, August the 24th, 2025 on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. I don't know how it worked out this way, but it did. I've been coming on the air pretty regularly since about 4:30, back when the fight is final. Then we did our season-end Flyers review show on the Clear the Ice, and now here I am on the final word. So you've made it to the end with me, and I'm glad to see you here. Let's finish up the day strong. I'm on the air a little bit earlier, about a minute early. Got something I got to be at 11 o'clock, so I cannot be on the air past about 10:50. So I want to maximize as much time as I can because we got a lot to get into on the final word. Back for what should be our first, our first 5-day night show. The first time that we'll do Tuesday through Thursday or Sunday through Thursday for the first time in a long time. I mean, I haven't done a full 5-day week in a hot minute, and I think this week's going to work out. I do have the final on Wednesday. So I don't know how that, I think it's a day game, but if it's a day game, I'll be here. If not, I won't. But we got a lot to go over, a lot that's happened over Philadelphia sports since the last time we spoke, which was, I don't remember, was it Wednesday? I know I had the thing on Thursday, so maybe it was Wednesday. Phillies find out one very important, big piece of news about their ace, Zach Wheeler. He's going to be gone next 6 to 8 months, so we can stop living in the what if or when Zach Wheeler gets back for the postseason fantasy world, because he's not, and we can move on. And the Phillies this weekend moved on without him as well, to a tune of a series win over the Washington Nationals, highlighted by superb starting pitching. If there's any takeaways you want to get from the weekend with the Phillies, it's got to be that. It's got to be the rising to the occasion of the Phillies starters, specifically 3 of them or 2 of them that we really needed to see something from. That was Aaron Nola and Ranger Suarez. So that's going to be on the table today. We could talk about today's game. We could talk about the once again how the offense sort of, I don't want to kind of hit their pace or their mark early on in this game, but did not do anything substantial at all through that down the stretch of this game. Talk about the bullpen issues. Jose Alvarado comes in, gets into a bases loaded, no out jam, taken out, and Tanner Banks, Superman, comes in and bails him out. And Ryan Kirkland gives up the home run in the ninth. So the Phillies hold on. We could discuss the game. Rafael Marchand as well. Big day, counting for all Phillies runs. We could also talk about holistically how you feel about the pitching situation, talk about Zach Wheeler, talk about anything you want about the Phillies. That is completely on the table for this evening's show. And also on the table is your Philadelphia Eagle football team. They are actively making moves. Howie Roseman is trading draft picks left and right over the last 12 hours, or I guess we can go back to earlier last week with the John Minchie trade. The Eagles, over the course of the last 12 hours, have acquired Sam Howell, John Minchie, and reacquired Patrick Johnson. Johnson was traded today from the Jacksonville Jaguars to the Eagles. And then apparently there's another pick in here. I just saw this one. Does this just happen? They are trading Darian Kennard to the Packers for a 2027 6th-round pick. So another move. So 3 of them now. 3 of them over the last week. Howie Roseman's wheeling and dealing. Sam Howell gone, or coming the Eagles from Minnesota. Then you got Fred Johnson coming back to the Eagles from Jacksonville, and the Eagles are sending a draft pick, or Darian Kennard, to Green Bay for a 6th-round pick. And then the John Minchie trade last week to the Texans. So Howie Roseman's making some moves in the anticipation of the start of the season in less than 2 weeks. And, of course, DTR has been cut from the Eagles. Is he the first official roster cut? DTR, no longer an Eagle. definitely can get into some of the Eagles conversation as we are days away from the start of the dawn of the Eagle dynasty. And maybe that could be a question that we can ask. Do you really believe that we are on the verge of an Eagles dynasty? But Howie Roseman active, making some trades, moving some people around. And Sam Howell coming back to the Eagles. Obviously, it spelled the end of DTR. But what does that mean for obviously Tanner McKee's long-term health, or I should say long-term, intermediate health situation? Apparently, he might not be ready for the season if they're going to bring Sam Howell in. And Kyle McCord, is he bound for the practice squad? Does he make the team as the third-string quarterback? Or do they cut him and then try to re-sign him to the practice squad? So Eagles are making some moves, but have not done anything to address the cornerback situation or the safety situation. Interesting, right? Some depth moves there with the wide receiver and the quarterback. Getting another draft pick back from Green Bay, but have done nothing to address the secondary. Do they know something we don't know? Is there a hidden gem in that locker room that no one sees? So that's on the table. Our regularly scheduled segments, the Day in Philadelphia Sports History, the of the night, and of course the card review, all that hopefully wrapped up in about a 45-minute bow. Let's say bow for all of us to enjoy here on the program. So let's get it started. And we got one right off the bat. I can't believe I'm seeing this person, Barbara. Yeah, with rocking red hair. Is that you, Barbara? Is that actually your picture? If that is, you're a very pretty lady. There's some red ass hair. I missed you. The Eagles got another quarterback. I'll try to catch you tonight. Oh, thank you, Barbara. And then she dropped this message a while back. So yes, the Eagles got themselves another quarterback. Sam Howell, the journeyman, is now an Eagle. Hey everybody, Joe Howell, what's up, man? Monday or Tuesday, can you open up the phone lines? I cannot Tuesday. Monday. You know what? We can probably do it tonight. I might do it tonight, Joe. Thank you for reminding me. I think I'm gonna do it tonight. We'll open the phone lines tonight. Tuesday, we have a special guest joining us here on the program. I guess I can tell you who it is. I was trying to keep it. I mean, it's not like, again, it's not major, but Jack Fritz of 94 WIP will be joining me here on this program. Jack and I go back a few years, so it would be a nice time to renew acquaintances with him, and we'll definitely pick his brain about the Eagles, or Phillies, and Eagles. And hell, the Flyers, too. So make sure you're here Tuesday night for Jack Fritz. Makes his appearance first time ever on the Instagram Sports Network. Fred Johnson is back. Yep. Fred Johnson is back. Now I got to go back on my damn draft pick tracker and kind of change the status. The Eagles make a trade. They made a few trades or a few moves over the last month. Another one, the latest, about an hour ago, they just traded a Darian Kennard to the Packers for a 6th-round draft pick in 2027. The Eagles are always active right before the season starts. Yeah. But they have not been active with the cornerbacks. Again, Barbara, do they know something we don't know? DTR might be the worst guy I ever saw trying to play quarterback. He's ridiculously bad and doesn't belong in the NFL. Yeah, 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that, Ricky Deal. All right, so let's strap it in, strap it on, strap it up, and let's begin. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times. And here we go. On your day in Philadelphia sports history, go back to the year 1983. 1983. The Philadelphia Arena, the original home of the Philadelphia Warriors and Sixers basketball teams, was destroyed by arson on this date. A do-it-all venue in its day, the arena hosted boxing cards, professional hockey games, even rodeos. The Philadelphia Arena? 1983? I was 10 years old. I knew of the Spectrum. I knew of the Vet. I did not know of the Philadelphia Arena. And it was no more on this date, 1983. Destroyed by arson. Goodbye, Philadelphia Arena. I barely ever knew you. I have no recollection of ever knowing what that place was. But there you go. That's your day in Philadelphia sports history, the destruction of the Philadelphia Arena. Anybody remember the Philadelphia Arena? Help me out. Help me out, man. Can the fan ask Fritz a question? Yeah, listen, you guys can always chime in. I'm not going to open the phone lines when Jack's here, but definitely drop stuff into the chat. We'll address questions, of course. Joe Hale. Hi, Joe. Ricky, Matt is going to open the phone lines. Matt is going to open the phone lines. Yeah, I only knew the Spectrum. Yeah, did you not? I mean, I never heard of the Philadelphia Arena. News to me tonight. Philadelphia Arena today was destroyed, or not today, but on this day in 1983, destroyed by arson. I was 10. And again, I thought I was pretty aware of what was happening around me. Never knew of the Philadelphia Arena. Don't remember that moment either. So there you go. A somber day in Philadelphia sports history. To go along, I guess, with our lead-in story, our lead-in topic is the gut punch, the kick to the junk, whatever you guys want to kind of equate it to. The loss in the news that Zach Wheeler is gone for the rest of this season. And let's face it, his future, his career might be in jeopardy here. He's not a young man. I mean, this thoracic thing could be career-ending. And I think you have to process this in small parts. We can talk about the long-term ramifications coming the offseason and what this might look for the Phillies in their rotation going forward into the future. But obviously the big thing that we're going to talk about and the big center point now is what does it mean for the Phillies the rest of 2025? I said it on the final, and I said it on the final last night as well. They have two choices. You take their ball and go home and say, we'll see you in 2026, or you can, you got to push through this. And the two biggest things that I needed to see, or the one biggest thing I needed to see out of the Phillies this weekend, came from the two starting pitchers that really, really need to step it up. I mean, Aaron Nola, who has not had a lost season. Let's call it what it is. It's a lost season. Looked very good today. Or yesterday. And then Ranger Suarez, who's been a model of inconsistency since London last year, looked equally good today. And that has got to be the way they got to go forward. And no more, you can't sit here. And I know the excuse train has not left the station yet. But it will eventually if they don't win the World Series. The all aboard for the Zach Wheeler got hurt. That's why we didn't win the World Series. Excuse train is pulling out on track one. I know that's going to be part of this discussion if they don't win a World Series. But adversity is part of life. Adversity is also part of sports. And right now the Phillies are deep into that adversity. I still maintain, and I maintain this all season long, that the pitching is not the problem here. I think it's offense, obviously, is what's going to win or lose the World Series for the Phillies. But you're not making it easy on yourself when you lose one of the game's premier pitchers. And the book has not been written yet on how this is all going to play itself out. I still believe they can do it. I still believe, let me rephrase it. I'm not saying that I believe they can win a World Series, because I still have my doubts they can win a World Series based on their offense. But I still think that even with the Zach Wheeler issue, they still have enough pitching to make a run. I still think that 30, 28, 29 of the teams out in the Major League Baseball world right now would take the Philly situation with their starting rotation as it is right now, with the situation with Wheeler and all the other uncertainty. They would still trade places with the Phillies in a heartbeat, because it's still a very good rotation. And if it is working on all cylinders and doing what it's got to do, it's going to carry them far. They need help offensively from the bullpen. They need help, but I still think there's enough there for them to win. Barbara says he already is retiring after the 27th season. I didn't remember him saying that. Is that when he's a free agent? So I need a sports starter. Do you go Joe Ross or Griffin McCary? What's a spot starter? Jesus Christ, Joe. Who the hell is Griffin McCary? Are you trying to talk about the prospect? Now, you got me confused about his name. I know you're talking about, but are you talking about the kid that's down in AA right now? Joe Ross as a spot starter? Nah. I mean, he could do it. I don't know. Why are we talking for a spot starter? Why are we looking for a spot starter? We got 5 deep rotation. Why are we looking for a spot starter? I don't trust Nola and all, and Orion still lets inherited runners score. That's why when we bring him in, start innings. Yeah, he gave up that home run tonight. I mean, that wasn't inherited. He gave up that home run on his own. It was all his. But again, I still think they have enough. I do. I still think they have enough. But you got to get it from Nola and Suarez consistently. You really do. Every fifth day, they got to take that ball and give you at least 6 innings. They just got to. And they're going to go a long way. And we already know we're going to count on Sanchez, and he may become the de facto number one in the playoffs. They may make him the ace, and then build everybody behind him. Not worried there. But after Sanchez, you don't really have too many locks that you could say, yeah, I trust this. I trust this. I trust this. They're capable and they've done it. They're just gonna have to do it again. So, but I still believe pitching is not the major problem with this team. Go Phillies. There's enough talent to win the World Series without Wheeler. Yeah, I think so. It's unmistakable. But the problem is the talent has yet to live up to its expectations, and that's what needs to happen. Now, all that stuff, those excuses about whatever is all, you can't have them anymore. You gotta come up. Everyone's got to elevate their play in order to pick up the broken slack there. But I think the Padres would be tougher than the Brewers in the playoffs. Listen, there's a really good race going on out in the NL West, Padres and Dodgers. I'm not afraid of the Brewers. I'm not afraid of. Listen, there's the two teams out there in the National League that will be there. One of the two that will be standing at the end will be either the Padres or the Dodgers. That's just I think that's my belief. Yeah, the Brewers are a good story. Reds are a really good story. They got some really good young pitching. The Mets, we'll see where they end up. But I think honestly, when the dust clears, either the Padres or Dodgers are standing in somebody's way, whether that be the Phillies or somebody else. But it's going to come down to San Diego. We will be traveling, or whoever, and hell, it could be at NL West, NLCS. I don't know. That would be an interesting NLCS between the Padres and Dodgers. But I do believe one of those two will be standing. We need a starter because I don't trust Nola or Walker. See, the problem is it's too late for that. It's too late. I mean, the die has been cast, Star Wars. There's no more trades you can make. And no, Andrew Painter is not the answer. Griff McGarry. Is that what you're talking about, Joe Hale? Griff McGarry? Is that what you're talking about? McGarry, not McCarry. I'm not going with Griff McGarry. He's in Double-A. So obviously Joe Ross. If one of those two options, I'll go with Joe Ross. There's no more trades to be made, Star Wars. There's no more cupboards you can open up. There's no one's hiding in the back shelf. I mean, this is it. So we got to get over that. We got to get over I don't trust X, Y, and Z. We as a fan base got to get over that because this is what it is. I heard similar talk, Carson Wentz in 2017. I don't trust Nick Foles. I don't think Nick Foles can do it. He proved everyone wrong. And now we're back into that similar situation. Obviously, it would make for a great story that they win the World Series with Wheeler on the shelf. And with the emergence of some other pitcher that comes up and comes out of nowhere and takes the team home. I mean, obviously, that's what sports are rife with in terms of stories like that. That'd be great for the Phillies. But the first thing as fans in the grief process here is got to be acceptance. We can't waste time with denial, grief, bargaining. No, we got to get right to acceptance because that's how it's going to have to be. We're wasting too much time with the others. We got to get right to acceptance and we got to move on. And that's what the team has to do. And so far, so good with that over the weekend against the Nationals. Now, a huge series on tap starting tomorrow night up there at Citi Field against the Mets. Season-defining series, actually, if you ask me. The Phillies have an opportunity to go up there and put the Mets down like the dogs they are. They go up and sweep them, we got a 10-game lead. You go up, you take 2 out of 3, well, you got an 8-game lead. You go up there and you get swept, you got a 4-game lead. You lose 2 out of 3. What? 5? So season-defining series right now that the Phillies are faced with. And they better go into it with the playoff mentality, because I think the Mets will. The Mets have got nothing to lose at this point. They know that the 7 games they got at hand with the Phillies are probably the most important 7 they got left in their schedule. No. Damn it. No, I do not. I do not think he's coming up in September. Phillies will probably be slotted in the 3rd spot of division winners for playoffs. Maybe. And then the question goes, well, does anybody really care about the bye? I still think the bye is a good thing. The Dodgers proved that all to be a myth last year when they won the World Series with the bye. I still think the bye is good. I still want the bye. I want the bye. And I also want, more importantly than that, I want home field advantage throughout, not just the first round. So the bye and home field advantage are the 2 most important things for me to consider. So when the phone lines open up, Ricky has had topic. Ricky has had topic? What's that mean? All right, Joe, I will put it up right now. So I am going to open the phone lines for everyone to chime in. The link is now sliding around out there. So if you want to come on stage with me, you can. You just need a way to communicate with me. I don't need a camera. I need to be able to hear you. And you need to be able to hear me. So hop on in and let's have some fun. WIP style. Matty, the Mets are down no matter what happens in this series. They have absolutely no pitching starters or relievers other than closer Diaz. Yeah, absolutely, Barbara. The Mets are at a low point, and that's what I said. The Phillies got to go into this series thinking that this is an opportunity to put them down. But we've seen it before far too many times where the team allows others to get up off that canvas, get that little break that they need to kind of regain themselves, and then come back out and firing counterpunches. I don't want to see that from the Mets. The only way that I can verify that the Mets are down is coming out of the series 10 games behind the Phillies in first place. That's the only way I will truly believe that. But you're right. The Phillies go into this series with all the momentum. The Phillies are playing better as a team, and the Mets aren't. So you got to go in and handle your business, Barbara. It is imperative. There's a series out there they need to win, and I'll trade all 27 series wins we've had so far this year for just this one series win. I just need this one. Now, granted, if I trade all the 27 series wins, then we're not in this position right now. So you get what I'm trying to say. Big time series for the Phillies against the Mets. Is going to be a beautiful thing when we sweep the Mets. All Queens and the Mets fans face reaction. I hope so. 100%. I hope so, Jose. I really do. And we don't really need to sweep. Yes, it would be nice. And yes, it would be defining. 2 out of 3 isn't bad. I'll take that. You just can't lose 2 out of 3, and you can't get swept. That cannot happen. They got to win the series. So, a season-defining series with the Phillies on the table. Eagles making a lot of moves over the past 12 hours, and then I guess you can push it back even further, about a week. We are 13, 12, 11, with 12 days, 11 days away from the start of the 2025 NFL season. The Eagles are on the verge of the Eagle dynasty. Are they going to be a dynasty team? And I want real. I don't want the green colored crap. Give me the facts, man. Give me where you see. And I think I said it earlier on the Fight and Spine. I don't know how he gravitated towards the Eagles on the Phillies post game. I think Steve brought it up. But my response to it was, are the Eagles as good as they were or better from when they walked off the field in New Orleans, or are they not? And if they're not, we might be we may have a problem with the whole dynasty thing. I have bigger things in mind other than the Mets. It's about teams in front of us for the playoffs. It is, Barbara, but right now the Mets are the team that's in front of us on the schedule. And if you go out and you sweep the Mets, I can honestly say you sweep them, that's it. we can move on from the Mets. There'll be 10 games back. It might as well be 20 games at that point, with 4 games left against the Phillies. Yeah, I'm okay. I can exhale about the NL East. So, all right, here we go. Hello, Joe.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well, Joe. How was your weekend?
It was good. I had to bring up all the Eagles hate. Not you.
Eagles hate.
Yes.
Eagles.
How everybody's hating the trade for Sam Hale. It's all over. I love it.
Why do you love it, Joe?
Tanner McKee's hurt. Sam Hale, where did you play for before going to Minnesota?
The Commanders.
Yes. And he knows stuff that the Eagles don't. I don't think the Eagles are the playbook of Washington Commanders.
Yeah, but that was like 19 head coaches ago. I mean, come on, man.
You said you're asking people if the Eagles aren't a dynasty. They're not a dynasty yet.
Well, but here's the thing, Joe. You got to have certain things, certain conditions got to be present to be a dynasty. If the Eagles go out and win a Super Bowl this year, that would be 2 Super Bowls in a row and then 3 appearances in the last 4 years. That's dynasty-like. That fits the qualifications for a dynasty. And that I don't think you can deny that, right?
Right, but I don't think the Eagles are going to go to the Super Bowl.
Ooh, why is that, Joe?
I think if somebody's going to get hurt halfway through the season.
And you mean somebody like a major
piece? I'm not.
Like who?
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown. Yeah. Now that would be definitely a major piece. I want to backtrack to the Sam Howell thing. Sam Howell was I don't know. Was he the guy that did Wentz get benched for him? Is that Sam Howell? Was that the player they benched Wentz for when he was with Washington?
Yes and no.
He wasn't one of the quarterbacks that came in to replace Wentz.
Yes, and it's very funny you mentioned that. Carson Wentz just signed with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. I was actually wondering. I thought that was going to happen years ago. I mean, he's from South Dakota, for God's sake, or North, whatever. He's from out there. So I always thought he'd be better off being close to home.
So you go from holding a clipboard last year to Patrick Mahomes. Now you go to a clipboard holding for J.J. McCarthy.
Well, listen. I think Carson Wentz should thank God that he's still in the NFL. I mean, the guy's career, he's cooked, man. This career's over.
A bust when he was the Eagles. You're right.
I agree. He was a bust. I agree. But all right, Joe. So Sam Howell. So Sam Howell has inside information on how to beat divisional teams. Okay, I'll get. All right. So Sam Howell will start the season off in your estimations as the primary backup to Jalen Hurts. Correct? Is that what you're saying? Because Tanner McKee, obviously, there's got to be something else going on with Tanner McKee. If the Eagles would not have sent draft capital to Minnesota for a quarterback. Is that what you're saying, that Tanner McKee will not start the season?
No, he won't.
Okay. Now, what happens when Tanner McKee comes back?
Do
they carry 3 quarterbacks on the roster?
Yes, and Kyle McCord asked to be on a practice squad. He told the Eagles he wasn't ready.
He told the Eagles he wasn't ready?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
He played for Syracuse, though.
That's an ACC school. It's a Division I program, man. That's big time, you know?
He said, give him a year. So what they're going to do is they're going to put him on the practice squad. And they're going to trade McKee next year. Kyle McCord's going to be your number 2 quarterback.
Now, help me out. To go onto the practice squad, can you be assigned from a cut down roster directly to the practice squad, or do you got to be cut in order to be signed to the practice roster?
No, you can be called up from a practice squad and be signed to any roster.
No, right. But saying in this situation right now, as we come to the end of the preseason, they got to go from whatever, I think 75 down to 53, right? They got to get down to the actual regular season rosters. The players that they have designated that they want to keep on the practice squad, can you assign them directly to that practice squad from this point, or do you have to release them and then they got to pass through some crazy waivers and then you can sign them to the practice? Or that you can just say, because I know you only get X amount of slots for the practice squad.
So you get 7 slots. You can be signed to the practice squad right now.
Okay.
You don't have to ask for waivers.
Okay. All right. But then there's always those chances where they let players go in the hopes that they won't get signed by anybody else's practice squad and then bring them back for their own practice squad. Okay, that's what I thought. That's how I thought it worked.
So
I
can see the practice squad being Anaya Smith, the wide receiver that everybody liked. I think Cooper makes the team as special teams.
Okay.
I think you carry 3 running backs.
So how many wide receivers? 6 or 7?
6.
That's a lot of wide receivers. Whew.
But then you go out. See, Howie has
how many running backs did you say?
4.
Who are they?
Barkley, Shipley, the fullback.
Does he count as a fullback or a running back?
He can do both.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what's the roster position he holds? A fullback, or like, is there a separate position for a fullback?
Special teams.
Is that what it is? So okay, so you got Barkley, Shipley, and then you got the Van Sumeren, and then who's the 4th one? AJ Dillon
from the Packers.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. Has he even played this preseason? I haven't seen a damn thing he's done.
Yes, he played. He was the 2nd running back in the game.
Okay. So that was the 4 you're carrying 4. I can live with 4. I don't know. I don't think you take it. I think you cut AJ Dillon. I don't like the Eagles running back room. I don't like it at all because God forbid something happens. Listen, they got bodies, but God forbid something happens to Saquon Barkley. You may have bodies, but you have bodies that can't equate to the offense that Saquon gives you.
Howie's going to pick the market for a corner.
A cornerback. So is he going to wait till teams cut down to 53 and then pick off that?
Yeah, he had some findings in the rough in the past.
Yeah, I know he has. Listen, I'm not down that.
I'm going to credit PM and the AM.
Credit PM and the AM for what?
Calling out. They need help on the defense.
What do you mean you're going to credit them? I've been saying it for months.
And a linebacker, I think Trotter. I don't know. Did Trotter make the team?
I don't think so. He looks a little small out there, man.
Jacoby Dean's just got put on PUP.
Yeah, well, Jacoby Dean, I heard of the best case scenario November, and that's even if he ever comes back and plays again.
So that's what I want to ask Jack Fritz.
What about the PUP list?
No, about the Eagles' defensive linebackers.
All right. Well, he'll be here Tuesday night, so please drop some messages in for Jack. Anything else, Joe, before I say adios for the night?
Yes.
Okay.
Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler, my man.
It's a scary injury.
Yeah, it could be career threatening. I mean, I know we're gonna address the conversation, and obviously you can address it here if you like. But I know going forward into the offseason, it's going to be a hotter topic. But yeah, it's definitely a scary injury.
What Barber said, he did say that he would retire of Philly.
Does his contract end in 27?
Yes, that's what he said.
Okay. I think I did hear that.
The Phillies, that he wants to work with the Phillies when he's retired. He wants to be part of the front office.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, I would have him, but it's going to be interesting going the rest of the way without Zach Wheeler. But Joe, listen, thanks a lot for once again jumping in. I appreciate it, man. All right, we'll talk. All right, brother. All right, Joe Hale, man, coming in again. All right. Let me get back to some of these comments here. Joe brings up some interesting points about Sam Howell. There's the things. It's going to be a beautiful thing when we sweep the Mets. I said that one already. I have bigger things in mind. I said that one already. I'm assuming the postseason, the Phillies rotation will be Sanchez. We did this earlier, Papernick. Sanchez, Luzardo, Sanchez, Suarez, Luzardo, and I'm not sure. No, it's got to be Nola. I mean, I don't know where else you're going to go with. You sure as hell ain't going Walker. It's got to be Nola. Nola's got to be that 4th man. Now, Walker could be part of it in the bullpen, but it's got to be Nola. Joe Hale is just about every Eagles fan laughed at Sam Howell when he was on the. Well, you know how that. I'm not going to blame Joe for that. That's how we all are. You're going to be hearing all these other shows tomorrow when they do do their thing. It's going to be Howe is a genius. He got Sam Howe. Yeah, that's just the way this fan base is. There, Barbara, you know that more than I do. Everybody's trash is our treasure. You know how that works. They'd be saying the same thing if Dak Prescott was on this team. He's the greatest thing. Oh, we fleeced the Cowboys. We got Dak Prescott. Come on, Barbara. But it's a very, very good point of how this fan base really is. I 100% agree. Sam Howe doesn't move my needle. He doesn't. Tanner McKee doesn't move my needle either. They're backups, and there's a reason why they're backups, and the reason why it took a 7th round pick or whatever the hell else he gave out for that to get him. He's an insurance policy. But we all know if Jalen Hurts goes down, if he's going down for a significant amount of time, the season is over. Or is it? Great question. I don't think it is, but I honestly think you should have kept Kenny Pickett here instead of moving all these damn quarterbacks around. But Sam Howe, whatever. 2nd string, 3rd string. Tanner McKee, 2nd string, 3rd string. Just as long as DTR is gone. And I actually think Kyle McCord is going to work out at some level. But yeah, I mean, these are depth moves. And Joe alluded to possibly picking up somebody's trash after the rosters go down to 53. When is that got to be done by? Is it this week? They got to happen. But once that happens, there's going to be a litany of players that are going to hit the open market, secondary types that the Eagles probably will definitely be on. I won't exhale till the season is over, and I hopefully the Phillies won the division, as anything can happen from there. Absolutely, 100%, Papernick, 100%. Yes, him and the Heineke replacements. Yeah, okay. So it was Taylor Heineke and Sam Howe. Wasn't one of them out of Mississippi? Sam Howe go to Mississippi, not Mississippi State, but the Rebels, right? Ole Miss. Didn't Sam Howe go to Ole Miss? Why do I see Sam Howe wearing the Ole Miss football colors? Carson gets a lot of mileage out of those 9 career playoff plays. Yes, he does. Now, he's still riding the back of the 2017 season, But good for Carson Wentz. I said this years ago. I thought he should have went to Minnesota years ago. The Eagles, if they really wanted to help him out, should have traded him to the Vikings when they traded him to Indianapolis. This is where he belongs, close to home. Watch him do research of his career out there. Big Joe. Dylan, Shipley, Barkley, and Hurts are the running back. I did not even Barbara with the real good one there with Hurts as the running back. Yes, he replaced Wentz. Yes, I remember that. Didn't he beat the Eagles too? Didn't Sam Howell beat the Eagles? Usually this kind of injury takes 10 to 14 months recovery time, but the Phillies say he'll be back in 6 months. Yeah. And that puts it right there at the cusp of the start of spring training in February. Could he be possibly ready for the 26th season? I don't know. Barbara, I don't know if it sounds bad to me to say this. I just don't want to think about that right now. I want to think about what's ahead of us. But yeah, I know it's going to be a thought that's going to dominate my mind come November. I know. And what the rotation might look like come November. I agree with you. Pickett got put on the IR. Oh, he got hurt? Kenny Pickett's out? Great. All right. So let's move on now to the of the night segment. I got to kind of speed it up here. I got things I got to do. I'm sorry. But let's go to the of the night segment. All right, this is the time of the show. The of the night segment is pretty adequately titled. We're going to go. We've been spotlighting Flyers players since about the end of July as we're getting ready in high anticipation for the start of the season. And earlier here on the network, we did the Flyers review show, the 24-25 review show. Me and Mike Lauro kind of put a final touch on the season. So we're going to continue looking ahead at the players that might be affecting this coming season. And we actually talked about this guy on the show there on that previous program. Dan Vladar. The Flyers picked Dan Vladar up as a free agent from off the Calgary Flames, essentially to be the 1B to the 1A of Sam Merson. 30 games he appeared in, 12 wins, 11 losses, 280 goals against average, and a save percentage of an ungodly 8.98, which doesn't really fit too much well into what Sam Ersson provided. Goalie's going to be a problem for this team going forward into the next season until Bjornsson and Rajan make their appearance. And I don't see us coming out of the goaltender wilderness for at least another 5 to 7 years. I don't understand why this organization cannot get a goaltending down right. But Dan Vladar is going to provide a little bit more continuity back there. He's NHL tested, proven, and all that. So he replaces Fedotov and Kovaslov. They both can go away. I don't care. And he'll be the primary B, not backup, but the B to the 1A of Sam Ersson. And what is that going to yield more wins? I don't know. If there's a position on this team that scares me the most, it's goddamn goalie. Goddamn goalie position. I just don't think that I just don't think it's going to work out. I really don't. I think we're going to be really tested with our goaltending depth this year. But we'll see. The roster gets cut down. Oh, so Tuesday's cut down day. So I guess I'll find out more about Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to the Flyers season with low expectations so I don't get heartbroken again. Yeah, Barbara, and me and Mike talked about it. Good pickup. Come on, man. Dan Vladar. The Flyers enter this season as not making the playoffs the previous 5 seasons. They've done that twice, maybe 3 times in their franchise history. If they don't make the playoffs this year, that would be 6 years without the playoffs. The Flyers franchise has never done that. That would be a first in Flyers franchise history if they don't make the playoffs for 6 years, and that would be this year. So I think there's a lot more riding on this season than a lot of people should. I think your expectations need to be higher because I honestly don't want to go 6 years without the playoffs. And I hate to say that I'm going to derail the rebuild for making the playoffs, but I do. I want to derail the rebuild for making the playoffs. So we'll see. Ricky, I see you back there, buddy, but I cannot bring you on. I got to cut the show short. I got to go somewhere. I'm sorry. Please, Ricky, understand. Everybody else understand out there. I do have to cut the show. Something's come up. I gotta roll. But I will be back tomorrow. I'm so Ricky. Can you see me? Wave if you can see me, Ricky. I can see you. Wait. All right, Ricky. I can't bring you on, man, because I gotta cut the show. So I do apologize. Tomorrow night, Ricky, you'll be the first one on. I promise. Is that a deal? Is that a deal? Okay, Ricky. Thank you very much. Listen, everybody, I am going to have to cut the show. I have to go. I do apologize. Duty calls. I got to go do something. But we got 42 minutes in or 44 minutes in. It's okay, right? Phone is dying. I probably won't last. I think you will, Barbara, because I'm about ready to cut it right now. So listen, folks, we won't do the card show. We'll do the card segment tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow night. I promise. We're in store to do 5 nights this week. So make sure you're back here. I know it sucks 44 minutes, but I gotta go somewhere. Blame the wife, not me. Anyway, remember all the great programming here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network that we got coming up. This is your Fighting's final lineup for the week ahead. Don't have it in here. Why don't I not have the Fighting's final? I can put it real quick. Let me add it real fast. For the Phillies up in New York against the Mets. This is not it. No, this is not it. Anyway, I can tell you who it is. It's tomorrow night. It is Mike. Tuesday night, Steve, and Wednesday's me. So make sure you're checking out double card review. Yeah, we'll do 2 cards. I owe you guys 2 cards. All the great shows that we got coming up on the network, a couple, and also 2 new shows that we got debuting here soon. So make sure you guys are checking everything out on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. I'm sorry I got to cut it short. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good rest of your night and even better tomorrow. Take care.